What's up, y'all? This is Alicia Keys, and this is Spilling the Tea with iHeartRadio Broadway.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
My ultimate favorite Broadway show. I'm going to go between Bring in the Noise, Bring in the Funk, and Hamilton. Those are my two. Of course, In the Heights was pretty crazy, too. All right, that's enough. The first Broadway show I ever saw was with my mother. Well, my mother is an actor, moved from Toledo, Ohio to New York City to pursue her dream of acting. So my very first shows were her shows. I would watch her at the theater. She would perform in different off-Broadway theaters. And I remember the first time I saw her perform, and it was like a hectic scene, and somebody was upset at her, and I started crying in the middle of the audience, just crying. Somebody's being mean to my mommy. But the first show that we saw together, dang, I might get this wrong, but I might feel like it's something like Cats. There's so many amazing Broadway shows that are coming out and are out. There's a Lawrence Fishburne one-man play that is incredible that I'd love to see. I just finished seeing Pearly Victorious, which was incredible. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing shows on the way. I'm interested in what they do with The Outsiders. You know, it's like super big, famous book, and you know, like, how do you bring it to life? And of course, Hell's Kitchen. Oh, there's another one I want to see. There's another one on Broadway I want to see, The Notebook. I am very excited to see The Notebook. In fact, The Notebook slightly inspired my song Diary, like watching the film. So our director, Michael Greif, is directing Hell's Kitchen and is also directing The Notebook. So I know it's going to be amazing. The best piece of advice someone has given me during my career. I guess I say this time and time again, but I feel like there's two. The very first best piece of advice I ever got was, all you need is 3 chords and the truth. That, as a songwriter, has changed the way that I looked at songwriting. And what that meant to me was that as long as you're speaking your truth and you're speaking honestly, you put a few good chords behind it. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. You really get to the heart of the matter. That was a big piece of advice. The second one from my grandmother, and she said, nothing before it's time, which agitated me severely for so many years because I was impatient. I was like, what do you mean nothing before it's time? The time is now. How long is it going to take? Why I got to wait? But now I recognize, like even with Hell's Kitchen, taking 13 years to create, I recognize that really nothing can come before it's time. And when it's time, it's time. And so you kind of have to take that and hold that and enjoy the process of it, because it's really special, actually. So those are my 2 best pieces of advice. My favorite moment in Hell's Kitchen? Oh my gosh, that's so hard. There is so many amazing moments in Hell's Kitchen. I will say Kaleidoscope is one of the really, really powerful parts of the show. You know, young Allie, she's only 17 years old. She's growing up in the middle of the city. She's so excited about what's possible for her. And her mother and many of the more adults in her life are really kind of holding her back, she feels like. She feels like nobody really understands what she has to offer, and she's trying to figure out what she has to offer too. So there's this feeling of resistance and rebellion that she's going through, that all 17-year-olds go through. And when she discovers this, her mentor, a woman that becomes her mentor, Miss Liza Jane, she hears her playing the piano, and she cannot believe how she makes it sound. And so the whole world opens up to her that something's been calling her, and maybe this is part of it, and Kaleidoscope kind of explodes before you. And so it's so beautiful to see this idea of like what's possible, or what ignites you and sparks you. So Kaleidoscope is like, it's such a big, the choreography is incredible. Camille Brown has just choreographed it immensely beautifully. There's a lot of electricity that you feel, and you feel her yearning and like excitement, and I love that part of the show. And the other favorite part of the show is so hard to even, y'all are killing me. The other favorite part of the show is the dad, Davis. Kind of comes back, and he's not necessarily the most dependable guy, and when he comes back, you see this moment between him and Jersey, the mom, played by Shoshana Bean, by the way, and Davis is Brandon Victor Dixon, super incredible cast, and he sings Fallen. He sings Fallen. And you've never heard Fallen like this before, and it's shocking and also amazing. So that's another favorite part. Okay, that's it. I'm going to give you, this is a little bit strange because it's not quite in Hell's Kitchen, which is weird. But I feel like it's located in prime location because it's right on 10th Avenue, and you can shoot up 10th and not be too far from Hell's Kitchen and Broadway. And I'm going to give that place, it's called The Cook Shop. And it's a cool spot. It has the festive energy, it has good vibes, great food, and you can just shoot up 10th Avenue and cross over and boom, you're there. I'm so excited for audiences to take away this. They're going to see themselves. You're going to see yourself in Hell's Kitchen. You see yourself, if you've been that 17-year-old person that's trying to find their way. Maybe you've been the parents of the 17-year-old that's like driving you crazy. You know, there's so many people that you're going to know in your life that you're seeing coming through this. And I feel like you're going to take away ultimately this love story between a mother and a daughter. And you're going to feel a roller coaster of emotions. You're going to be laughing. You're going to be dancing. You're going to be singing. You're going to be crying. At the end of the show, you're like, what just happened to me? I feel everything. So you're going to feel every part of your spirit and soul come alive. And that's what I'm excited for you to see and relate to this story. A tourist spot. All right, so being born and raised in New York, I don't know if I know the tourist spots like that. So I wonder, like, what would be the place that I recommend in New York? I love the High Line. I think the High Line is incredible. There's something about being able to walk above the city and kind of, it's purposeful that there's green there and there's spaces there for you to take in. I think it's a unique vantage point for the city, and it goes long, so you can go on and on. I love riding my bike down the West Side Highway. There's something incredible about getting on a bike and just riding, and you can pull over and go to a park. You can pull over and watch the Hudson River and just kind of chill. You can get food. I love this sensation of just riding down the West Side Highway. I definitely also have a connection to Gramercy Park. This is one of the songs in Hell's Kitchen. Gramercy Park is like such a cool area, and Battery Park City is another one where you're like in the city, but you're almost like feel like you're at the precipice of the water and you feel like you're just, I don't know, you feel like you're somewhere else in this mixture of universes. So let's see, is there anything else that I can think of that's unique to New York? Those are kind of some of my favorite things to do. I'm a bit active. I like to get out, ride the bike, walk, take a run, hang out, stuff like that. I really love that. I love that a lot. I would not call it Hell's Kitchen. If I had my own cooking show, I'd call it Girl on Fire. What do you think? Was that expected? Kind of expected. But whatever. I thought it had a ring to it. I don't know if that meant that I burned the food or what does that mean, but I feel like there's something there. We're going to go with it. I guess that would have to be Hamilton. I think that I really loved the way that Hamilton also put together like the cast album, and then they also did a version with artists kind of doing the songs from the cast album, and I loved that. I really loved how that felt. There's so many melodies in there that just really tug at your heartstrings, and you know every word. And obviously Hamilton is so creative, and my guy Lin-Manuel is exceptional. So I'm gonna go with Hamilton.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.